episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host, Isaiah. And today's episode, I have to get the Silver 88 Starion up for a couple of events. So we're going to be interrupting our regular scheduled program with this one. So let's dive in. We have a lot to do. Okay? So, after a lot of trial and error, and I apologize because, I'm supposed to take you guys step by step of, everything to do and whatnot, and I haven't. So I apologize. But before you start a brand new engine, you have to prime it with oil. You want to make sure your oil is circulating throughout the whole system. And with the spark plugs out and the spark plug wires and all that out, there's no resistance when you start the car. So I did that and cranked it for 3 days now, and I didn't get it to prime. So what I did was, over here on the block, you see that plug there? That one goes directly to the oil pump. So what I did was I took one of these little, pretty much like a transfer pump. I actually have the box around here. Let me show you the box. Excuse the noise in the background, but I use one of these transfer pumps, which is this one here, and I pretty much assembled it like this, and I put this in the hole and I started pumping. So this part sucks in the oil, this part pushes it out. So I started pumping oil into that alleyway after you remove the Allen key, and I got it to prime. Long story short, I just wanted to show you guys what kind of unit I was using. Cheap. I think that one's under 12 bucks, something like that. It's plastic, no big deal. So I used that to pretty much prime it, and then all of a sudden the oil pump started, puking out oil, which is good. So I closed the hole back up with the Allen key. So I closed that hole up, and it's this one here. I don't know if you can see that, but this one right here. Closed that hole up and started priming it again. Once I primed it, I had this return line disconnected, so it has to go quite a long ways to actually get to the return line to start dripping. So once it started dripping, I knew I was safe to start the car. So put back in the spark plugs, connected the injectors, and in this wiring mess, I connected the fuel pump, which, of course, works great. Still need to clean this up, but I'm trying to get out there to you guys for the meet on December 10th. So, so got all of that done, and I started the car. Again, you guys missed the first start. I apologize. It was one tooth off, so I fixed that, and now let's see what we got. Okay. And again, I am sorry, I'm kind speeding through all of this. Definitely not the way I wanted to put this car together. It looks like a huge mess everywhere. Um, but besides that, excuse me, we got some more stuff done. We have the beginnings of a downpipe. Okay, and then the wastegate tube has its dump tube right there. See if we can see it. There we go, dump tube right there, which I'm gonna iron out where that's aiming. Get that right. We got a boost controller set up and ready, old school, no digital. And we also did the radiator. So the old one that was in here actually had a tendency to touch the fans, oh, little glare there, on the plastic part. So I reduced the size to a 2-row instead of a 3. And now everything fits a lot better, including the AC compressor. The AC compressor was pressed up against the fans on the old setup. So now we don't have to worry about that. The fitting on the bottom is plugged in and tight, top and bottom. Then this upper fitting, I actually had to get a longer hose because this one's shorter. I wouldn't have thought that would have made such a difference, but apparently it does. So I gotta pull this off. And then after that, I connected the fan. So those are 100% plugged in. Gotta get a little bit of excess. So now, you know, just because we have a tiny little downpipe, it actually ends right there. That's the old downpipe that is actually coming out. These are male and female V-band clamps to ensure that you don't have leakage between here. I've actually seen a couple of cars that have V-band clamps and it's all smoked out in these rings. So basically a male and female clamp, let me take this one out, has a groove to bite into, so to keep the exhaust leaks down, which of course is very important. Alrighty. All right. You see there, male and female. Has the receiving groove right where it counts. So there's no slipping, it locks right in. And that's perfect. So we're gonna have this throughout. This is 3 inches. And I bought a pack of 4, so we got extra. I think we'll only need 3, but I'll find a way to fit it in there regardless. So that's what we're gonna do today. Also, we're gonna do the intercooler piping. So let's jump over to that. Okay, so these are the intercooler pipes. I was actually going to get a new set, but it wouldn't have been here in time. So I'm going to reuse this. As you can see, I had a massive boost leak all over the place. So I'm gonna have these cleaned up, welded, and everything and looking right. And yep, gotta clean this up, weld this too. Make sure that's all properly taken care of. Old school, first gen, beat up super sequential blow-off valve, but very necessary for a multitude of reasons. But yeah, so gonna basically make these into 2 pieces, one for the turbo side to the intercooler, one from the intake side to the intercooler, and take it from there. So I got one more thing to show you guys. Let me know how you feel about it. I got a new steering hub. The one I have on there works perfectly fine. But the thing is this a little old school, and it's like that flimsy pressed steel. and this is a billet aluminum type. So I figured this will be just, you know, a better upgrade in general. Okay, so with the exhaust underway, we're also going to be doing the intercooler piping, which is going to be maybe a tad bit difficult, but nothing too crazy. So I put the intercooler in temporarily. So this piece is going to weld to that piece. Then we'll have a boot here, done. Okay, and then we'll start working on the other side. Okay, now the intercooler piping welding is complete, including this piece. It's a little hacky, but should definitely serve the purpose. Should be good to go. And yeah, so we're gonna put these pipes in and we're going to tighten everything down. I think I'm gonna reorganize some of this stuff here just so I can get a better fit. So, yep, so let's put this stuff in order and get it tightened up and ready to go. Okay, so the intercooler piping is 100% bolted down. Already, when I start the car, I love the way this turbo sounds. It sounds completely different than what I am accustomed to, so to speak. So, yeah, she's running. She's pretty much in her complete form, so we're gonna do a couple of other things, make sure she's all tight, and we'll take it from there. So, that brings us to here. And I know what you're asking, what happened? Let me show you what happened. Brand new head, right? Check. Brand new gasket. Right here. Check. Anybody see anything wrong? Anybody? That is not very apparent on any other cylinder. This gasket, I don't know what it's made out of. It's like a rubbery, slippery kind of I don't know. It's trash, okay? I'd go to put fluid in the car, you know, while it's running, whatever. Let, you know, everything circulate. And boom, a massive water leak all in the back of here, sharing coolant with cylinder number 3 and 4. And it's because that gasket failed, okay? So, you know, 2 things. One, it's a nightmare trying to take that intake manifold off in such a tight compartment. 2, you gotta check and make sure your surfaces are flat on your intake manifold. This head is new. I would assume it's flat, but we're gonna check it anyway, okay? And also, we're gonna tighten up that bolt over there for the starter. And also, I wanna get a little bit more skin right here. So we're gonna fix that nastiness right there. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna cut that piece fresh. We're gonna put a new clamp on it and connect it to the battery. So we got a new starter. I don't know if you realize, but that's a new starter, right? You see the coolant that fell from this guy onto that guy. Okay, so we're gonna go get a Felpro, something that it should have been to begin with, and try again. We're gonna put a little bit of Indian head on there, a little bit of Indian head on this gasket, make sure it seals good. I've seen people use silicone, whatever, but we're gonna use some Indian head. So I'm gonna work on the starter stuff now, then go get the gasket in a couple seconds. So yeah, that was fun. Okay, we got this here leveler, all right? And we're gonna check to see if it's true. So what you wanna do is you wanna get a feeler gauge in between each slat of metal to make sure it's flat. Now, I'm pretty sure, you know, because this is a new head, that there's no room for a feeler gauge. It's been machined, bada boom, bada bing, we're good to go, right? So I'll check it anyway, just for kicks and giggles. I already know it's no problem there. So that's one. And then we're gonna check the intake manifold. All right. Okay, so we checked here and we're a couple thou off right there. Let me push this all the way on. Barely anything, but still, we're gonna smooth it out. Okay, so now we're gonna do it the other way, because we can take it to a machine shop. 2-3 weeks down the road, you get your stuff back. Me, I kind of need it now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the glass and sandpaper trick, long story short. So let me show you what I'm working with, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we're gonna tape this down to make sure it doesn't slip off. Actually might move it down to one piece. You know, back and forth motion has to be smooth and even. Should take it down to where it needs to be. And yeah, so I'm gonna tape it down and give it a shot. Okay, and just a couple of back and forth passes, and you can already see what's really going on. So we're gonna keep going, get it nice and flat, take it from there. But also, before we finish up there, I finished up the starter, tightened up everything looks good. All right, got a new lead there, smashed it tight. Of course, if I need to make it even tighter, I could do that too, but so far I gave it a tug, no issues, good to go. So yep, that's all done, bolt is tight, and we are awaiting installation of the proper gasket and sort of take it from there. All right, so let me finish up and we'll get her done. And with that being said, I hope you found this episode interesting, helpful in some points. And yeah, let's definitely give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next episode. And remember, knowledge is power.